Hey Websters, it's been a while since you've seen or heard from me whatsoever. Um, Let me just give you a little update about my life so far. I took on a teaching job since when you last saw me, and I worked there for a year and a little bit, and it was a lot for my body to take in. And recently I quit that job, not because I didn't love the kids, because I did love the kids and I loved teaching the kids and I loved everything about it. And in fact, some of them are watching, so hello. um, and by kids, I mean like people allowed to use YouTube, okay? I'm not going to change to a kids channel. Sorry, all kids watching. Uh, all legal teenagers watching. Gosh, this video is gonna get in trouble probably with YouTube's algorithm, but okay. It's not geared towards children, okay? Let's just take that there, YouTube. It's not geared towards children. So, yeah, I am professionally a teacher. Before I taught at a school, I was teaching singing, and I've given private lessons a lot, but I became a full-time teacher since you last saw me, and that is what has happened since then. I don't know if you can see me. My hand is getting sore, so I'm just gonna like put you over here for a moment. There we go. So I quit that job just recently on the last day of February, due to something that happened with my health, which came out of stress. Um, Stress specifically from the work and how the company was treating me, because it was owned by a private school. It's a company owned school. It's a private school, private education. Happens in South Africa. Um, and yes, their demands were getting pretty tough towards the end and pretty ridiculous. And I was teaching 14 classes, for which I had to do 14 different kinds of prep. And it's different when you teach subjects like creative arts and life orientation or life skills, because these are subjects that deal with psychological well-being and physiological well-being, with psychological well-being and mental health, and they deal with creativity, and because we all know the arts are intrinsically linked to our mentalities and who we are as people. So life orientation was me not just teaching the Bill of Rights over and over again. No. It is more about how to deal with social issues and how to manage your social environment and your own wellness and the wellness of others. And I truly loved teaching the subjects I was teaching. It was just too much. So, in the end, I became overwhelmed, and the company wouldn't listen when I told them I was, and that led to a health emergency where I went to the hospital with possible signs of a stroke or a heart attack. And so I now have high blood pressure because I went in on hypertensive crisis in the first week of February, and I served till the end of February at the school, and that was it. And really, the school took so much of my life from me for the year I was there. And I'm not going to name the school because I still believe that the school and the people there are wonderful people. It's just the company that owns it that is terrible. So Uh, the school in of itself taught me so many things, and being there was incredible. And getting to work with the kids was the most wonderful thing I have ever done in my life. I can say that genuinely. And I would 100% have gone back to the kids under different circumstances, but they didn't want different circumstances. And over this past year, since I last uploaded and a little bit before, I ended up losing myself in that job. I ended up losing everything that I enjoyed doing was no longer really something I enjoyed. I didn't have the time to really look after myself. It was eat, sleep, go to work, and you were there for hours and hours. Came home back with work, with hours and hours and hours, and weekends were given to the school as well, and just so much of my time became the school, and I was there until late evenings so often, just doing work, trying to prep. They wanted you to be a machine to work there, and I wasn't, and I couldn't take it anymore. And a lot of it was strong arming and straight up abuse of their workforce. And so I thought by the end of last year, maybe things will get better because now we have a working system, and it's the end of the year and we have plans in place for the new year. Let's just wait it out. And it got worse in the new year. So that's when it led to my health ultimately becoming the price I was paying, because I had already paid in all my interests and hobbies and family responsibilities and joy, and I had given all of that already to work at this job. And then after everything was done, the only thing left they could see from me was my health. And it did. And I nearly died. And that was really terrifying. And so that was the final straw from me. And I always told myself that the kids begged me not to leave. They begged me not to leave over and over again, because so many of their teachers that they loved did before. And I was like, okay, I'll stay on for the kids, and I'll be a good teacher for these kids who might not enjoy school without me, and which is kind of vain to say, but it's not coming from me being like blowing my own horn. It's coming from actual interactions with children who were asking me to stay because they had lost so many other teachers to the absolute terrible way that the company treats its employees. So, yeah, I am currently unemployed until April. I already have another teaching job lined up. And from what they told me, it sounds like heaven in comparison to where I was. And I can almost not believe everything in the contract that I have to look through, that they gave me plenty of time to look through before I show up in April. And I am very excited because I will have my entire afternoons to myself, and I will earn an actual good living in comparison to my other job, which wasn't a bad wage, but it wasn't functioning. It wasn't functioning. As you know, I stay at home with my family. Instead of moving out, I am staying to support my parents and their lifestyle and their needs. And so my sister also moved back home for the same purpose, and we call our parents our children. That's it's the family joke, because we take care of our family as if they were our children. We're not married, we don't have kids. We honestly aren't in a financial situation to do that, because our money goes to looking after our family and our home. And in planning that, we have a lot of developments going forward. So, with those developments going forward, there may be some content coming ahead, and with more free time to myself, I may actually be able to get back into YouTube. And I know I've said this 6 million times, but more videos are coming, I promise. I am back again, which is just the theme of my channel at this point. But yeah, I am health-wise doing better now, after having rest. I'm having this month as a recovery month for my blood pressure, and I'm on certain medication and things like that, and I've never had a history of blood pressure or any problems like that. It's just another thing that has now suddenly come up now that I am above 25. So people say it goes downhill from 30, but they're lying. 25, it's like so yes, that's what has happened to me over the last year, where my entire life was consumed by being a teacher at a specific company. And I say company because the school was worth it. The company is not. And yeah, I wasn't allowed to do anything. I stopped singing because there wasn't time to practice. And honestly, my voice would be so tired at the end of every day that the thought of singing on such a tired and hoarse voice would really frighten me. So I lost my passion for singing. I lost my passion for gaming, for doing anything. I would just come home, barely eat, just collapse and fall asleep after coming home late. Otherwise, I would just come home and get to work, and that would be it. So I've spent this past week and a little bit 2 weeks. It's 2 weeks since the last day. I've spent these last 2 weeks giving my health the priority it deserves, and resting and following doctor's orders. And like, it was so bad I'm not allowed to exercise, but I have to lose weight. Which I don't, always agree with. I agree with, losing weight for if you need to for your health purposes, which is my current situation, or losing weight because you want to lose weight for personal goals, not for losing weight because you think you look ugly. Like, you don't. You can be any size you want to be. Let's screw that. And I've always advocated for body positivity, and if you feel like you have to gain weight to be beautiful as well, that's also just as toxic as somebody being like, I have to lose weight to be considered beautiful. So it's just as dangerous in society as it is the other way around. So believing that you are beautiful is really difficult for a lot of people. And I have an exciting journey ahead of me with my health, and I'm not going to become a weight loss channel. That's not what I'm here for. I had like a burp that's not coming out, which turned into a yawn. That was the strangest feeling I've ever had. But yeah, I'm not becoming a weight loss channel. I'm not becoming like anything. I'm always just going to be myself and the chaotic human that I am. And I'm always going to be giving you a variety of content This might be a vlog about my life, but the next time I might be, comparing apples and bananas. Who knows? Bananas, by the way, are like the shit. But don't tell anybody. Don't tell the apples that, because apples get jealous. Because they're supposed to keep the doctor away. But bananas taste better. No, they're both equal, okay? They're just different things, okay? Taking that metaphor way too far. But anyway, I just want to say thank you for your patience. That's the update that I have on my life. And I finally get to look after myself and clean the mess that is this house. Because yes, I just where I left it off on, I didn't clean then, and it hasn't been clean since. And, well, okay, it's been cleaned, like I'm not a savage, but it hasn't been organized, and it hasn't been properly looked into, and I haven't been able to do anything because my entire life was consumed by this job. All my time. When I say all my time, yes, at some points I had to like forego showering so that I could get to work because I had just been working all night to get to school. Like, it was becoming so dangerously unhealthy for me that it was inevitable that something in my health was going to go wrong. Yeah, and that's bad. Like, having people who... Okay, let me just warn you now. If people send you something, a task to do, beginning of the day that you can't finish until you get home, or that you aren't allowed to go home until it's finished, run, okay? Because, number one, if it's something that's so important, they could have told you in advance. And number two, if they stop you from going home, but they're not going to pay you overtime, that is abuse, okay? That is abuse. And we as teachers take abuse a lot. We take more than a lot of company workers would take. We take more than a lot of other jobs would take because we have to take our home with us because otherwise it doesn't get done. And that isn't fair to our families and friends and everything like that. But it is the situation that teachers just take, They expect our work to be finished, and our work requires long hours of work. And we get paid very little to do it. And kids are like, oh, teachers don't care about us, but that's not really the fact. There are many teachers who go into a job with the utmost passion for teaching and get destroyed by the job because of how much it takes out of you and how much you have to give up to be a teacher. And you might think they don't have passion for you, but the truth is, their passion for you is what keeps them coming back to the job. But the job is making them the most unhappy they've ever been. So think about that the next time you think this teacher was unfair or this teacher is being difficult. Like, we don't want to give you stacks of homework. We don't. We don't want to give you unrealistic tasks to complete. But that's what the government says you have to know. What companies tell us we have to do. And so we do the job and we take the fall for being the unrealistic ones, being the ones that make you carry all these heavy books around all the time. And how dare we give you so much homework, and how dare we do all this work? How dare we give you all this work and we act like we don't care because we only want to discipline you? But that isn't true. We take the fall for the rules, because as much as the rules are there for you, there are rules for us as well. I have to implement the rules that you have to follow. And even if I don't agree with them. It's in my contract. I have to do it. I have to do all of that. And you sign your soul away as a teacher to give of yourself so that kids grow up to be successful, to be able to manage the world, because the world is hella terrible. It is so rough outside of being a child or a teenager. Having to actually live and go through the world, it's rough. It is so rough. And we want you to succeed in it, to not be destroyed by it. And so, give us a break. Because those are our hopes for you. Really. No teacher goes to a school and says, okay, I'm going to make sure that this child suffers today, that they are the worst feeling, that they go home considering all of their actions and really trying to suffer. No, we don't go to school like that. There's nothing like that. We don't hold as many grudges as you think we do. We don't do all of that. And I'm not saying that there are teachers that all teachers are perfect, because no, ultimately there's always going to be one or two people in any situation that really shouldn't be what they are. Like, for example, there's probably a bunch of accountants who shouldn't be accountants. There's probably a bunch of policemen who shouldn't be policemen. And we all know about that. We've seen tons of videos about it. We've seen also, it's the same. In teaching, there will be rotten apples. Okay? And I apologize for everyone who's had to have one in their life. But I also want you to know that the rotten apples are the minority. That most teachers are good people who genuinely care for their students. Genuinely. So, in the future, keep an open mind towards your teachers and what they're trying to teach you. Because it's a job that we have to do. But we also want to do it for your sake. Try to notice when your teachers are being overworked, because that's probably all the time. And maybe don't try and push your luck every single day. Anybody listening knows what I mean. And if you don't, then you're not the problem. And yeah, my cat's meowing for my dad, who's outside hanging up washing. He's like, no, please let me go be with you. Very cute. And it's even cuter because that cat doesn't meow for anything else. It's only if someone he loves is outside. He's like, no, come back, be with me. But yes, so in the coming month before I get to work again at a different school, and also probably thereafter, you will probably receive more content from me. And I say probably, I'm not going to make promises because it's going to be a huge change for me, and so I have to adapt for a while. So yeah, that's what's going to happen. I'm not wearing my glasses because I just got up from a nap. So that's when my hair is messy and a bunch of things are terrible. I was napping away a headache, which is something I have to deal with often now. So, yes, I'm looking after my health now. So I hope you have a truly wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you kitties next time.